Well, if you look at the play and you think about his play, the place of Almaviva, the Count, in the story of Da Ponte, it really does show, I think, signs of what he'll become in the Marriage of Figaro. What I like about the aria, and people don't understand it, a lot of people say, oh, as you said, it stops the action, it's at the end of the night. That's the comments I've heard. But if you think about Almaviva arrives already disguised as someone else. He doesn't arrive, he doesn't begin as himself. He is first Mindoro, then he is the drunken soldier, then he is Don Alonso. And I don't feel like the audience can really understand who he is, that he does have the resources to make all that happens over the night happen. He has the money, he has the power. I think he has a true heart, and that is the reason why he wants someone to love him for who he is, rather than what he has. And so, with this aria, you see where he takes his place as a noble person. You see where he kind of commands the situation and, you know, lives on his status level. Without the aria, I think is somewhat of an abrupt ending in the sense that you never really understand him. And no one else has an entrance aria to say, everyone else has this entrance aria to kind of explain who they are. Rosina has this. Of course, Figaro has this bombastic, of course, noteworthy, most notable, most memorable piece of the opera. Then you have Rosina, Una voce poco va. You have La Calunnia. Then you have Don Bartolo. All of these people. Ecco Ridente, the aria that Almaviva sings in the beginning, doesn't quite live up to this level that everyone else has. So at the end of the night, what I understand, at the end of the night, you have this aria that explains who he is, what he wants. He talks about how terrible Bartolo's been to Rosina, about what he feels for her, and how happy he is going into the future, which again I think sets up his situation in the Marriage of Figaro. What I understand is that the tenor I think it was Manuel Garcia, back in the day, he said to Rossini, could you please give me an aria? So Rossini wrote this aria, put it in the end of the opera, not in the original transcript, but it was short after the beginning. He asked to put this in, performed it. What I understand is they had some type of falling out. The aria was taken out. The name of the opera was changed, but it was because it was called the
Precaution.
Inutile Precauzione. That was the title before of Almaviva.
Right.
The aria was taken out. The name was changed to the Barber of Seville, and the music, of course, everyone knows that Rossini often stole from himself, and the music was used and became very, very famous in what we know as La Cenerentola. So it helps the character, again, because it really explains his ideas, what he wants, where he wants to go, and how he feels, his true feelings for Rosina. So I think it helps the character. And a lot of people think that the tenor wants to sing it to steal the show, and I don't think of it that way. I think if he does it well, in the context of the whole show, I think everything else makes more sense.
But you know, it's interesting. You've given it a perfect and sensible explanation. But when one speaks about Manuel Garcia requesting the air so that he could, you know, have something to finish the opera with, basically on a high note, it sort of, you know, belies that argument a little bit. But I believe, and you know, these are the questions that will always remain. However, I will say that to my ears, you've given the most lucid answer as to why this is there. Thank you so much for that. You know, this is an interesting piece, and you do an awful lot of Rossini work. I see. Yeah. You don't want to really become known as a Rossini tenor, do you? Or
well, you know, the thing is, my voice is one that's suited for Rossini. Early on, I wanted to sing, of course, I wanted to sing Bohème, and I wanted to sing Traviata, and I wanted to sing all those things. That's not right for my voice. And someone had to tell me, you know what, your voice isn't made like that. And you have to, of course, lie on what your strengths are. I feel like I'm not a Rossini singer. I feel like I am a bel canto singer, because there are other things, there are other composers and roles that I feel like my voice is also suitable for. But Rossini, my voice fits, and I've always had this ability. Thank goodness I've had some wonderful teachers along the way who really instructed me and guided me in the way to really understand how to use my voice. You know, you try to go with your strengths are. If I were to go and to try to always sing Nemorino and to sing some other things, maybe the magic flute, which I think I am capable of singing, I think that I would be maybe probably one of a number of many, many people. But because I do have the, you know, have the God-given ability to do some of the higher line bel canto things, some of the Bellini and the Donizetti, even some of the French repertoire, I feel like I found my place in singing Rossini. But, you know, I look forward to the future in being able to do some things, some other things maybe in Mozart. I would love to sing some Handel, some of these other composers, some French composers that are out there. There's a lot of stuff out there for my voice type, and in the future, hopefully I'll get the opportunity to do some of those other things as well, in addition to Rossini. Like Rockwell Blake, who was a mentor of mine and a friend, you know, he said, you know, you sing it as long as you can. And if that's what he said, my voice, he told me, he said, my voice sang Rossini virtually my whole career. And so if my voice can stay in this place, and of course I want to be a healthy singer and smart, I definitely will sing Rossini all my days. And maybe we'll go into some of the, as you mentioned, some of the titles. I think there is some room for growth in the Rossini repertoire, moving from the opera buffa into the opera seria. There's some other things out there and roles that I can explore as time goes on, hopefully.
I just want to touch on your vocal instrument very briefly from my own perspective. Now, this instrument is a very rare instrument. We all understand that. But the interesting thing that for myself is that a vocal instrument of this particular weight has such shading and timbre with a presence that is very, there's a heft to it, which you don't often find in this vocal, you know, something that sits that high. There is a heft to it, which is really quite interesting, and which broadens this repertoire in the next 5 or 10 years for you. I believe is going to be some of the most exceptional years. I mean, you're singing right now is phenomenal in the repertoire, but I think that there will be repertoire out there, that untouched repertoire, which in your hands will be quite something to see. Now, after you finish with the Barbiere, you're back to the Met for Armida.
Yes.
Now, wait a minute. Did you do this last year?
I did do it last year. It was
last year.
Yes, it was last year, 2010. New production with, of course, Renee Fleming, who's an incredible singer and a wonderful colleague. So I'll get a chance to go back and do it with the whole cast. It'll be everyone who was there in the beginning, with the exception of 2 people, I believe. The bass, Keith Miller. I'm not sure that he'll be in it this time because he has other obligations, and also the tenor Jose Zapata will be singing in Spain, so he won't be able to be there. But the people that they put in those places are fine singers, and I've worked with them as well before. So we're looking forward to it. It was wonderfully received. I just heard word that they'll release it on DVD. So it is one that I think that they're excited about bringing to the Met again.
And then obviously we at this point, once the Met's done, then you're doing I think you're doing the finals,
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
You're coming in as a guest singer, then you're at the COC doing Cenerentola.
That's correct. That's correct.
Now that's your accompanying debut at the COC, is it not?
Yes,